brand new report just dropped from Redfin this week, and some of the data actually surprised me. So I'm going to break it all down today for homeowners in San Diego and people that are also thinking about possibly buying this year. So which is the best month to sell, the best week, and also make sure you stay to the end because I'll reveal what is the single best day to list your house, because that one still matters and most homeowners don't even think about it. Hey, I'm Jade, your North County San Diego realtor. And if you're thinking about selling your home this year, make sure you stick around for this video because you'll find out when is the best time to sell your home and why. So go ahead and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already so you can stay up to date on what's going on in the housing market in San Diego. Okay, let's get to it. So before we dive into the numbers, just to give you some context, homeowners don't sell their house very often. It happens about once every 9 years. So when you do it, you definitely want to get it right. You want to sell quickly, get the strongest offer, and make sure you walk away without leaving any money on the table. So I made a video about when is the best time to sell a couple of years ago, but there is some new data that I found very helpful. So I want to make sure that you get the most current data going into spring and summer of 2026, because some of what I'm going to tell you this year is slightly different from what I mentioned a couple years ago. So there are two windows or waves of when is the best time to sell. So don't worry, if you missed the first one, there's still a second one that is coming. And I'll share with you exactly how you can catch it. Okay, it's probably no surprise, but late spring is the best time to sell your house. We're talking April, May, and June. But what is new, there's new data about exactly which week is the best week to sell. So nationwide, according to Redfin, the best week to sell is the very last week in April. Now, this is the best time to list your house. And this isn't just like a little bit better, it's actually a lot better. And if you are sitting on the fence about when to list your house, here are some numbers that might make you jump off the fence. And so if you're wondering why is the last week in April the best time to list your house, well, buyers are out in force and there isn't as much high competition as there is in the summer. So if you list at the end of April, there are a lot of buyers that have started looking. So this is that small window where demand is high and supply is low, which is good for you. But if you end up waiting for the summer, there will most likely be more houses on the market, so there's greater competition for you. So here are some stats if you're curious about why to list at the end of April. So number one is the median home price is actually 4% higher than the rest of the year. So this is partly due that homes are better presented at the end of April, and because there isn't as much competition, homes sell slightly more, 4% higher than the rest of the year. Number two is selling above list price. So it's 18% more likely that you're actually going to sell above your list price. And this is the highest likelihood all year. So 18% more chance of you selling above list price. Number three is that you are likely to go pending within 2 weeks. So you're going to accept an offer within 2 weeks, which is 17% more likely to happen at the end of April. So on average, in late April, homes spend about 9% fewer days on market. You're not only getting more money, but you're also selling it faster. And number four, as I have mentioned, there is less inventory at the end of April. So this helps you if you're putting your house on the market. There are actually less homes on the market, so there's less competition, which is good for you. Now in the Redfin report, it also mentions that real estate is local. So every market is slightly different. So what's happening in San Diego versus the rest of California versus the rest nationwide, there is some differences. So Redfin did notice that there's a slight pattern on the West Coast. So we are talking Portland, Seattle, San Francisco, and San Jose. And the sweet spot for these areas is late March. However, for San Diego, our sweet spot is mid to late March. Now, I know that some of you are thinking, wait, it's already April. Did I miss the selling window in San Diego? Well, actually, The best time to list in San Diego is mid to late March, but also it's still a good time up until May. So you still have a bit of a runway now. So it's always better right now is to list sooner rather than later. And the longer you wait, there is going to be more competition on the market. If you happen to be watching this video in the fall and you have some time, you don't have to put it on the market right away, then think about starting to prepare a few months in advance so you are ready to list in March. Now on the East Coast, Philadelphia, Boston, and the Northeast, the prime sweet spot selling window is actually in May. And not every market is determined by the season. So there are some markets across the nation that the season doesn't really matter that much. One of the least seasonal markets is Florida. So we are talking Orlando, Tampa, Miami. This is where warm weather is year-round and it's less seasonal. So inventory stays relatively steady all year. So the gap between listing in March as opposed to June, there actually isn't that much of a gap. And the same goes for Phoenix and Las Vegas. So San Diego kind of sits in the middle. It is slightly seasonal, so there is more buyers out there in the spring and into early summer, but there still is homes that are sold throughout the year. Now here's something that I also wanted to mention, that most sellers, if they are selling their home, they probably end up being buyers as well. So if you want the freshest inventory and if finding the right home is the thing that matters most, so be ready to shop in May. So this is when there is the best inventory. Now, if you are flexible on timing, then June and July will give you the largest selection of inventory. And if you're looking for the best deal, then that is in September and October. So this is when the buyers have the most negotiating power. So if you are selling and buying at the same time, the smartest move would be to sell in the spring and then have money in the bank so that you are ready to jump in the summer when there is a lot of inventory. So if you want to work through what a specific timeline, what's best practices before putting your house on the market, click the link in the description below and book a call with me, and then we can go through your specific situation and work out the best things to do before listing your house so it's not a scramble when you stick that for sale sign out in the front yard. Now, and I always say this, selling your home is not just a financial decision, it is also a big lifestyle move. The data kind of gives us a general guideline of when to list your house, but your personal situation obviously matters more. So are you downsizing? Are you making a significant life change? Do you have a vacation booked this summer? Recently, I sat down with a homeowner who was thinking of putting their house on the market this summer, and we sat down and listed out her ideal date, but then we realized that she's going away for 3 weeks in the summer, so we moved it to July. So this wasn't a statistically optimal week, but for her situation, this is what makes the most sense. So to look at your situation and figure out what makes the most sense. Something else that most homeowners underestimate is how long it takes to prepare the home for sale. On average, homeowners start seriously thinking about 7 months in advance, and the preparations normally take around 2 to 3 months. That is getting the home ready, decluttering, doing repairs, doing inspections up front, staging, photography. If you are thinking about selling your home, I have a free PDF guide on what to do and when, and there are some very essential steps that you could consider before putting your house on the market. And this will save you a lot of headache before you get into escrow. So just download it, save it, and use it as your actual checklist, and it's free. All right, so you've stayed to the end, and I just want to give you a bonus tip on when is the best day to put your house on the market. And hands down, the stats say this, Thursday is the best day to put your house on the market. It's just before the weekend. So once it hits on the market on Thursday, then people can start planning. If you are going to have an open house, then all the buyers will come on the weekend, and then hopefully you'll get an offer in hand on Monday. So in summary, the national sweet spot for listing your home is the last week in April, but here in San Diego, it is mid to late March. But if you happen to have missed that window, then it's still a good time to sell all the way until May. In summary, to bring it all together, the sweet spot for the best time to sell your house nationwide is the last week in April. But here in San Diego, it is mid to late March, but you also have runway all the way to early summer to optimally list your house. Now that you know when to list your house, if you have any questions about pricing, about your specific property, neighborhood, and what to do next, book a call with me. The link is in the description below, and then also I'll put my number right here on the screen. So just call or text me. I am not salesy. It's definitely no pressure. So just so that we can sit down and have a real conversation about your situation and we can figure out what is the smartest move forward. And grab that free PDF on how to prepare your home to sell. So you've got your preparation checklist ready to go when you are ready to make that move. So if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already. This will definitely help the channel and help more homeowners like you here in San Diego figure out what is the best move. And thank you for watching.